Welcome back, dude and dudettes, to another wild episode of Send It Mate. We're here to talk about all things hunting and outdoors. And today, we've got something that'll keep your gear running smoother than a dingo's getaway.
That's right. Our show is brought to you by High Caliber, the gun and knife oil company that knows how to keep your firearms and blades in tip-top shape.
High Caliber is like the secret sauce for hunters, anglers, and outdoorsy folk everywhere. It's like the magic potion that makes your gun and knives happier than a dog with two tails.
You know, guys, I've been using High Caliber oil for a while now, and let me tell you, it's the duck's nuts. My rifle practically sings a lullaby when I take it out hunting.
And speaking of lullabies, ever tried sneaking up on a deer with a squeaky gun? It's a prime way to end up with no venison in the freezer. You'll be hungrier than a vegan at a bacon festival.
Absolutely. But with High Caliber oil, your gun will be quieter than a ninja in moonlight. You'll be stalking your prey with the grace and stealth of a mountain lion.
High Caliber doesn't just keep things quiet, it also prevents rust and corrosion, so you won't find your gear looking like it spent a season at the bottom of a creek.
That's right, and for you knife enthusiasts out there, High Caliber has got you covered too. Your trusty blade will slice through anything smoother than butter on a hot biscuit.
So, folks, don't let your gear become a rusty, squeaky mess. Head on over to highcaliber.com.au and grab a bottle of their oil today.
And if you use the code SENDITMATE at checkout, you'll get a special discount. I say again, use the code SENDITMATE for all your oil slick, stealthy hunting needs.
Thanks to High Caliber, you'll be sending it in style and silence.
So, gear up, oil up, and send it, mate. High Caliber, the ultimate oil for the ultimate hunter.
Welcome back once again. Another week, another episode, another delving into the crazy, messed up minds of three weirdos. It's Send It Mate Podcast. I'm Caleb.
And I'm the normal one, I'm Josh.
And I'm Couch.
Josh, I would not say you're the normal one. Of the three of us, you're the least normal.
I'm normal. 100%.
No.
If you're the definition of normal, then we're extraordinary.
Very clever.
Exceptional.
Very
even.
clever. Very clever.
I wouldn't. No, you're definitely not normal. Anyone who's met you would know you've had a very different life to most people, mate. So you are definitely not normal.
Yeah, what's normal?
It's more slightly weird.
Who wants to be normal anyway? Like, what define normal?
Actually, I was thinking about that. Like, growing up as a kid, how when we were a kid, you had to fit like this demographic, right? Like this certain stigma. In the 80s and 90s, like, there was a cool look. And then at some point in time, it shifted. And being like nerdy and a bit weird, people owned it. And then it became fashion. Like, I'm talking about a young lad. Like, you know, being young.
I mean, speak for yourself. You're saying you were a nerd back then.
I was pretty quiet at school, actually.
You were quiet, nerdy.
Yeah.
But does quiet...
I wish I was nerdy because it didn't transfer into my adult life.
Definitely wasn't a book smart nerd.
I was going to say, yeah, nerdy means smart, and then you just somehow lost that nerdiness.
Oh, I don't think I've had it, mate.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you're just quiet.
Yeah.
You came in your own later on in life.
I don't know what made me think about it. It's like looks, like you grow into looks, you know, but yet it's such a big thing when you're growing up about looks. I mean, you're consistently sort of worried about what you're wearing, how your hair is, you know, what this girl thinks or whatever, especially as a bloke. And then,
Well, some females may think that too.
yeah, well, yeah, I guess so. But it, like the older you get, you sort of just grow into your looks.
I think as blokes,
I was actually,
oh, okay, just talk over me. Whatever. No, you go.
well, there's a slight delay here, so I was going to have to get used to that.
Yeah.
But I was listening to Rogan today, and they were saying the positive about being over 40 is pretty much the only positive is that I don't give a fuck about anything. So they think that people that reach over 40 and they're still sort of trying to impress and all that, they're just missing the whole benefit of being older. No.
there's definitely a freedom to not caring what other people think, and you definitely develop that over time. So when you're a teenager, I think that's why puberty's so awkward as well, because you're just so worried about what other people think. But as you get older, you realize everyone's got their own. Everyone's just worrying about themselves. Everyone's worried about what other people think of themselves. They're not worried. They're not focused on you. So just run your own race and get it done. Don't worry about other people. And then when you get to like 70, 80, you do not give a shit about anything to the point where you'll be rude to people, cut in lines.
Yeah.
And like, what the heck? Just be an old grumpy bastard.
Look, I understand that being respectful to your elders is certainly something that's dying out, which is terrible. But some of the older generations certainly don't help themselves, that's for sure. Like the biggest one I think I've ever come across is, cutting in line. And driving, actually. It's like old people driving, merging, or indicating to merge into a different lane. Just does not exist. And they just, I'm turning now, and they're turning.
It's kind of a weird thing. Like they will cut in line, or they'll cut you off in conversation because they don't have the time to listen to you. But when they get behind the wheel, they go 60 in an 80 zone because they got all the time in the world.
It's a bit counterintuitive, isn't it?
I wouldn't be rushing to die when I'm 60. That's for certain. Like you used to drive like you're 19 and stole it. That's for sure.
What good places to be, mate? The thing that gets me is there's a speed limit. Do the speed limit. Don't condone speeding, but at least do the speed limit. Don't do 10 Ks under. Don't do 15 Ks under. Do the speed limit.
I'd agree with that to a point. I say you should drive to your ability. Right?
Do you agree? And do you agree with it as long as it's below 60 kilometers an hour, because that's your Hilux's max?
No, I agree with that to your ability, really. And I do believe though you should you should be able to identify your ability. And if you can't drive quickly or feel unsafe, you should certainly get in the left lane and allow people to overtake.
Your ability by default should be the speed limit, because they don't allow speed limits that are in excess of the road conditions. So
you not
can't
really
do the speed limit.
Because my car in the hills, being an old Rolex, right, you got I don't actually have a lift. It's stock standard. It's just aftermarket shocks.
Just floats a little bit.
But it floats, and going through the hills to work, you go around a corner. You can't take that corner at the recommended speed because, mate, you'd flip that thing.
Really?
I'm sure you could, but I don't, because it certainly feels like I'm about to flip it.
Well, there's a reason they call them the Rolex.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is an extraordinarily narrow vehicle for how tall it is.
So you got multiple factors here, right?
Your driving ability.
Your vehicle, your driving ability and conditions. And this is something that astounds me, because like driving Couchy, we've been in your car when we're driving southeast, and you've got like your lane assist, and it also can do like brake assist and things like that. And one thing that astounds me is how close people drive behind other people, used to included, because damn.
I give someone plenty of room.
No, you don't, because if something crazy was to happen, like an animal ran out or a kid ran out or something like that, and the person in front had to brake suddenly,
mate,
both of yous are stuffed.
Mate,
stuffed.
Your Hilux, the Flintstones had better braking ability sticking their feet out the car than your brakes, mate.
Nah.
We just have brakes at work.
Nah. Look, I agree. I agree that the Hilux's braking capacity is terrible, but nah.
We just have a reaction speed better than yours.
Look, I'm sure you do, and you're probably driving to your ability, but just the simple fact that the distance that you give, to me, it seems like if something does happen, that's it. And I would fret driving in the Vic to hunt with you, Caleb, when you had your I-30. I-30?
I-40.
I-40. It might have been your Subaru, I don't know, one of them. But I would fret because the way you drive, and it would be like midnight, and we're going to hunt, and you'd be behind a car or something like that and like trying to encroach to overtake or whatever. And I'll be like, the chances of a kangaroo jumping out are actually extremely high. Extremely high.
Yeah.
And we're in a Hyundai.
See, I was thinking of that when I was in the work Ranger and heading to the southeast, and I was cruising along. I was going a little bit quicker than I should have. But I'm like, do I slow down to the speed limit or do I just maintain? Because if I slow down, it could be the changing factor of it jumping out in front of me. But the quicker I go, the less time it reacts. Therefore, I just be through.
I don't know if I like the math on that scenario.
No, for starters, I think should I drop back to the speed limit? I think that says it all. Speed limit. Do not exceed. That's a suggestion.
Look,
yeah, well, it hasn't worked out for me too well in the last month.
Hey,
So.
do the crime, do the time. I do sort of understand what you're talking about, Josh, because like when I jump in with my missus, she's got a car that's only a couple of years old, and I get onto her about how close she is to people and how much space she leaves to brake. But it's because she has such a small car and the brakes you can stop on a like 50-cent piece, like it's crazy. And then when I have gone from my older, like 10-year-old car to her car, and I use the same amount of braking force as I would in mine with way less weight and way better brakes, I just about put myself through the front windscreen until I remember that these brakes are insanely more, not powerful, but more efficient than mine. The stopping power is highly increased.
So, yeah, I can relate to that as well, because when we went to Vic and we had the hire car and I drove back from the Spiker house to where we were staying, like, man, that thing, like, you'd touch it and be like, whoa, and you're trying to, like, brake slowly to go around a corner, like a sharp corner or something like that, and then you're doing, like, 5.
Yeah,
you're
you're used to depressing the pedal halfway to the floor, or you just need a slight little touch with one toe.
That and it's...
You just need to think about touching it and it'll be braking.
This is true. That and down gearing. I still down gear to stop.
As you
Obviously
should.
having a manual, like because I'm cheap and want my brakes to last.
Well, we were taught to drive back when they still taught that.
Yeah.
They don't teach that anymore when you learn manual, or certainly a lot of places that I've heard, they don't teach you that. You come to a stop, you literally just chuck it in neutral. You can go from 5th to 1st instead of down gearing.
What?
To slow yourself, to like use engine braking.
I got told in my what was it? Might have been when I got my car license, and they said that gear changing down actually stuffs your gearbox.
Get stuffed.
So he said not to do it.
This is the thing, though.
I do
like,
it,
if you're in 5th and you're coming up to a set of traffic lights and then they go green, and you're like, I'm probably doing about 2nd or 3rd gears speed. Like, which is it? Whereas if you're actually just decreasing, all right, down to 4th, down to 3rd, down, like, you slowly bring the vehicle to a stop. You're saving your brakes, and if you need to then accelerate, you're in the right gear. Versus, I never understood.
Most it changes as you change down gear, so it's at the higher revs. And that's generally what happens to me, is as you change down the gear, you hit the higher revs and then it goes green, so you can't accelerate. So you have to switch up a gear.
Yeah. No,
but that's Murphy's Law, but yeah.
Yeah, it's just knowing your car, knowing what gear you should be in for what speed, and not revving it off its nut. But
well, the 50k speed limits certainly don't help, because there ain't no 50k speed limit gear. Like, 3rd's not enough, 4th is too much.
Again, you're talking a 20-year-old vehicle versus a modern vehicle, Josh. You're talking like 6-speed gearboxes in autos, or not in we're talking manual still, I guess. Ignore what I just said.
But yeah, you also have autos now with like 10 speeds.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're kind of good. But I don't know how we got onto this topic, but yeah.
Old people.
Old people, that's it.
That digressed, didn't it?
Frustrating.
Not giving a crap about things in general in life. Oh, well. Well,
yeah.
Couchy, just what's going on, mate? I'll bring this up because you're via video link again instead of in the studio. I alluded to before. We've got some extra elbow room here, down here in SA. You're in Queensland again. What's going on, mate? We had you briefly. Now you're away again.
We were lucky enough to have me for 2 episodes. But got a call saying I was needed up here again, so I had to fly out that day, which kind of sucked. So I got a call at like 11 a.m. and it's my manager. He's like, "Do you want to go back to Brisbane tonight?" I'm like, "Fuck," because we had this fishing trip is actually this coming weekend organised. So when you hear this, it's the weekend just gone. That was a pain in the ass of a thing because we sort of had to. Well, I had to cancel that. So yeah, from then on, I flew up that night to Bris and on a digger now. So
Hey, bud.
Johnny,
How you going?
You can't hear us, Josh. He's got
you're
headphones.
now on the recording. But yeah.
If anyone who wondering what the heck we're doing, someone walked behind Couchy in the background.
I filled it in. Yeah. But yeah, so up here sort of on digger. So yeah.
Is that
I'm enjoying
worth it
up in Queensland?
to cancel and ruin pretty much the lives of 5 other people, like their lives for a fishing trip? Was it worth it?
Include my children as well.
Oh, yeah, hang on.
Seven.
7 people. Their lives are ruined now completely.
Yeah, well,
Wow.
deal with it, I guess.
Wow.
I just wanted to make sure Caleb could go, and then I just said that I couldn't go.
You were hoping that Paul won. So Caleb.
I think it was the next. No, I think it was the next day after we're like, oh yeah, Caleb can come fishing.
Yeah,
And then I get a call.
Port lost. They're not going to make a grand final this year. Bang, let's go. And then, yeah, next day.
Man, I'd prepped like anything, mate. I've got like the margarita mix, everything. I've got everything ready.
Well, let me know how it goes. Or come up to Queensland. We'll go fishing up here.
Well, that raises a good point because I did, when I found out that, we had to cancel the trip, I did ask you a question, and this is a question I'll post for any listeners, and that's barra season in Queensland. There's a few things that I've read online that barra fishing isn't open for most of the year, and there's like a season that it's open for, except for one river, I think in Rockhampton. So that's what I've read. And I don't know if it's real or not because I'm like, well, how do you control that? Catch and release. Like, okay, I understand if you can catch and release and not, keep and eat it. I get that. But, yeah, is it a thing? Is it regulated? Can you get away with it? I don't know.
It'd be good to know, actually.
Yeah.
We were asking you as the subject matter expert, but you obviously don't know either.
No, I already had this conversation with Josh. I don't know, and I'll have to suss that one up here. Ask a few people. So,
what would have helped?
if anyone does know, let us know.
But you know what would have helped? If out of the last 4 months that you've been up there, you went barramundi fishing already.
Yeah, well, it hasn't. So,
Oh.
I think about going fishing this weekend, actually.
Oh, of course. We were as well. We were actually all thinking about going fishing too.
Well, you still could go.
Just wouldn't be the same without you, bro.
Is it a long weekend up there still?
Yeah.
Okay. It's a pity we're not in Victoria. We had a 4-day long weekend because they have a day off, Josh, pre the grand final.
Why?
Yeah.
Friday is a public holiday before the grand final in Victoria because they have the grand final
Yeah, 'cause
parade.
grand finals on a Saturday.
Whereas the rest of the country doesn't get that day.
Yeah, good. They don't deserve it.
What? So
they?
if you're in Vic, you wouldn't take the day off?
Nah, I'll go to work just on principle.
Just on principle.
Foosball's a sleight of hand so the government can do their thing beyond the
Actually,
curtain.
foosball was introduced to keep the cricketers fit.
Really?
In the off season.
Cricketers aren't
So-
fit anyway, bro. They stand there for 12 hours in like one position.
To be fair, if you look at most international cricketers, they do not look that fit.
No, they don't.
Like
I
you
mean, you
can't-
remember Shane Warne?
Yeah.
He was skinny, but then he just slowly like built out.
Shane
No, he was
Warne.
criticised from his weight at day one.
Yeah, he was. Used to get on the darts and
Okay, well, he got
eating
bigger.
pies and stuff, mate.
Yeah.
But then back in the day, you had David Boone, the what's his name for Sri Lanka, Arjuna Ranatunga. He was beefy.
Yeah,
Tubby Taylor.
you don't really
Yeah.
need to be lean to run 12 metres and stand there and a field waiting for a ball to come near you.
Look, they're a lot fitter than they used to be, but at the end of the day, your job is to hit a ball to the boundary.
Actually, you think
Yeah,
weight
or a
would
bowler.
help?
Like you can get away with it. You can get away with it as a spinner, I reckon, because you're not really expected to bat that long. But a spinner doesn't really require a lot of effort to actually bowl. It does require effort, but not as much as a fast bowler or something like that.
Correct.
But opening batsman that's going to be in an innings for like a day and a half, then I think fitness comes into play. Unless you can just hit it hard and hope.
You know what they should do on their visors for the batsmen?
Visors.
Create a little on their helmet.
What do you want?
Create on their visor part. Create a little bracket that they can
Grill.
put their phone onto and watch TV, so they can pass the time better.
Jesus.
Oh, it is terrible.
Shut up.
Absolutely terrible. Look, I'm all for being Australian. And, cricket's got its place, but and I guess sports has its place. But man, oh man, that is the worst sport. Zero hype.
Let's not start this debate again.
Nah.
You've already ragged on AFL. I'm not letting you go there with cricket as well.
Now rugby, that's a game.
No.
There's strategy, thinking.
What?
Yeah,
Just running straight lines, mate.
gridiron.
I do recall
Even better.
you banging on about me wanting to go to the footy and watch men in tight shorts grab each other. Like in rugby, the heads are basically up each other's
Definition.
ass, mate. Like there's more
But
grabbing
at least there's two lines, and you have to make a play. You have to. There's some strategy. You're sort of sitting there going, okay, we've got to get past the defence in a certain way. We'll try this and that. Like footy, it's just everyone follows the ball around the whole field. I mean, they've tried to rectify that in the last few years, but there's just a gaggle of dudes chasing this ball and then tackling each other. Or
There's a lot more to it than that, mate.
not really.
I know you can
And
only
there's
think in two directions.
the way the ball's shaped, right? It's pure luck that like it bounces a certain way. Old mate could be running after it, bounces a certain way, and the old mate gets it. Running the other way. Like it's just, it's ridiculous.
Because a rugby ball's round.
Yeah, but they don't use it in the same way.
It depends if you're talking rugby league or you're talking rugby union. Like, look at rugby union where they kick the ball and then it lands somewhere in the field and then just rolls around the place. It's still unpredictable.
Okay, from a kickoff, that's fine. But after that, it's not. It's back into, strategy. Not
Now,
just
what I find about why rugby players don't like AFL is because once they leave their line of formation, they don't know what they're doing. And they only run in one direction. So AFL is a 3D where rugby is a 2D.
Yeah, but you only want to run forward. You never want to retreat.
It's tactical withdrawal, Josh.
Here we go. Tactical
I actually got
withdrawal.
told off once. It was on the bayonet assault course because I still took a step backwards, like half a step, and the secos just full drilled me and gone. Like, just we don't withdraw. It's you only ever move forward. All the rest of it. I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, man, I was trying to get my balance. Like,
Well, you just like shifted your way backwards and like,
yeah. Sorry, it wasn't a bayonet assault course. We were doing PW drills, and I was stepping back.
what's PW?
Like prisoner of
I
war.
forget.
So you work in two teams,
No.
and one person keeps their rifle on the POW, and the other person goes in and searches them, and pretty much strips them from any weapons or whatever. And it was like stepping back at one stage. I can't remember if it was because it's all scenario based. I can't remember if like the POW, I'm using that in quotation marks, got up and tried to go me. But it wasn't a step back. It was just like walking, sort of like just adjusting my weight. And then next minute, I know I'm getting yelled at. I'm like, it's just like, okay. Oh, man. It was terrible. Sorry.
That reminds me of when I played Enemy in Darwin. And I forget what led up to it, but I got captured by these two guys. So I'm hands above the head, on my knees, on the ground. And you know how the drills are, you're supposed to be at 90 degrees from each other?
Yeah.
So you're not cross-firing and all that. Well, I watched. So the guy at the back, he was covering me with his rifle. I asked the other guy to drop his kit, and then so he's got to drop his kit, drop his rifle. So I haven't got a rifle to grab, and walk up to me and apprehend me. But he walked in the line of his mate, dropped his gear in that line, and I'm like, well, his mate can't shoot because he's dropped his stuff there. So I bailed around to try and get his gun, and he saw it and just dropped me with a tackle. Must be a rugby player, I reckon. But then I hit the ground, rolled, and ran. But the guy that tackled me grabbed his rifle and fired 2 shots at me with a blank ammo. But I knew that he was going to be. I'm not sure if I was handcuffed or I was about to be. I must have been handcuffed at the time. And because I didn't have a rifle on me, I wasn't armed. It was a
non-combatant.
Yeah, I'm non-combatant, so it's a crime and war. So they ended up having a trial that night and put him at pretty much executed him, sort of thing, for their sort of trial. That was like a Seco course, that one.
So it was like a kangaroo court. Oh, yeah, your
Maybe.
trial. Yeah, I think that's what they call it, a kangaroo court. It's like imagine all the old ways of having like a judicial system where you'd rock up in front of the elders, both plead your case, and then they'd just come up with the punishment pretty much within the community.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it is. Yeah, kangaroo court.
Yeah, he was, shot at dawn, I think.
Did they actually go through with the process?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Because it was just a punishment against him. So I don't know. It's kind of fun fucking with people when you know the rules.
Yeah.
And then you see their mistakes and you're like, I'm just going to play on this.
If you pulled it off, that would have been sick.
And then because I heard him shoot, I just fell over. Because I'm like, I'm going to play as he hit me and not keep running. It was fun.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it sounds fun.
Here's something that we should do, talking about shooting and running. We should all, we've never done this actually. We should go paintballing together.
Have we never been paintballing at the same time?
No.
Not all 3 of us, no.
Nah.
Bloody hell. I think, let's lock that in.
We should.
Let's get a group together and do it.
Really?
I can't believe we've never done
Monado
that.
would be good to go to. Monado would be good to go to, I reckon.
There's one at Monado.
They got the chopper there. Yeah, they got the chopper there. It's on the way to the gun range.
Oh. Yeah, let's do that.
It's as you come off the highway to go to the gun range. It's on your left there.
Yeah, let's do that. We could always make a team of 3 and then just get
They got a
bunch of other dudes.
There's generally a minimum of 10, I think.
yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like, let's test ourselves.
I reckon I've only
Stick
ever
to
been
one.
like as part of Bucks days. Like I went this year. That was
Paintballing?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
When?
I think I remember that. Yeah.
Like March, I think.
What?
Yeah.
You have not told me this is.
I went
Yeah.
paintballing in like March this year for someone's Bucks before they got married.
Oh.
I think you had a good welt underneath your behind your arm or something, didn't you?
Yeah, see, Catchy remembers details about my body when I've got my shirt off in detail.
He probably sees it more regularly.
What's messed up is when they get the buck to run run the gauntlet. The place I went to was like down south, like Kaipo Forest Way. And they even have like a cage, just like a phone booth, but size sort of thing, but it's just like caged, and they chuck the buck in there and then like 20 dudes just line it and shoot into it. So because the cage is there, not all of the rounds make it through unbroken, but it's pretty messed up. And then I was watching other groups where they'd get the buck to run past and then just, unload on him. Like you'd have to run, 20 meters and back just while everyone's unloading on him. And then there was like another Bucks party that was there, and one of the guys volunteered to do it as well if he got free drinks for the rest of the day. He got absolutely – I've never seen welts like that on someone. Just ridiculous.
But did he have the last laugh? And did he shortchange everybody?
He got free drinks for the rest of the day.
I've been to a Bucks one where they've done the same thing. They made them run back and forth. But this guy, all we're shit shooters. He got through and no one hit him.
What?
On the first pass. So the instructor made him run back half the speed.
Wow.
Half the speed.
That's
not a stitch up.
What distance? Like when I actually did it to the buck, he was maybe 10 meters from us.
I think I can't remember, to be honest, but I'm going to say it was further than 10.
Yeah, wow.
But I was somewhere between 10 and 30, I don't know. Somewhere there.
I mean, paintball guns aren't the most accurate of things, but at that sort of range, you just lead a bit and you're fine. Like,
they're good fun, though.
it is good fun.
If I knew that was the case, right, say it was like, we'll say Couchy's wedding, right? If it was Couchy's wedding with paintballing, we knew it was going to be that situation. I'd go out and buy like a $5,000 paintball gun that shoots like 500 feet a second, that's accurate and reliable and repeatable just to shoot you.
You would waste $5,000 on a paintball gun too.
I wouldn't bring it out until that very moment where you'd run in the gauntlet. I'd be like, oh yeah, it's on.
No, you would not be able to keep that secret if you bought a paintball gun.
No, I'd definitely do it. I'd definitely do it, man. That'd be outstanding. I've never been
Who said you're
paintballing
invited?
for bucks, actually. Ever. Any bucks.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? I've been two or three.
Yours was go-karting. And,
Oh, as in when I got married.
yeah.
Yeah, we went go-karting and then dinner in town. Oh, well,
That's
it'll happen again, mate. We'll go paintballing.
We can all get married again.
Well, I haven't been married before, so
Oh, it's your turn to go paintballing then, mate.
yeah.
And then get divorced
Yeah,
4
all right.
months later. Oh,
Yeah, yeah, don't. Yeah,
I'll leave that one for you, Josh.
learn from our mistakes, mate, and make sure it's the right person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, crikey. Anyway, yeah, we should definitely go paintball. I can't believe we've not done that as a group.
Never, man. The one time that I was going to do it with you, I think, paintballing, this was years ago, man. It must have been when we were like 18, 19 years old. I don't know what, but I either went hunting instead or I had to go back to work or something. Something came up. And I was just like, no, okay.
You know what we should do? Is I'm not going to be bound by it because people are listening. But like us three get Hunting Connection podcast in. Get geez, I'm blanking on his name. The Boar, and he's from Adelaide as well. The Barbecue and Boar or something podcast.
You're telling the story.
Yeah. Fuck. Give me a second.
He's
And then
good.
just invite a few people, maybe a representative from Gun Force or
Not Balin and Scarlin.
Yeah, balance.
Bale and Scallon. That's
Oh,
it.
I was
Jesus.
Googling as well.
I was
Yeah.
way off.
Get
Sorry, mate.
Get Balin and yeah, that's actually a really good idea because I'd
We could-
love to shoot Zach with paintballs.
We could do an event.
Zach, like, having said that, I also do want a fair opponent. So it's like,
We can invite a few of the guests we've had on from SA, or at least if anyone wants to come across,
Mate,
do something like that as well.
we,
I
could just,
reckon.
we,
be
we
good.
get 10 easily just with the hunting group.
yeah.
Yeah,
I think that would be a good crew to go with.
that would
Oh,
be.
you got a mix of easy targets.
Yeah, you've got some older
You do.
guys, you've got some younger guys, you've got.
I mean, my dad ain't going to move too quick, mate, and he'll probably break after you shoot him, but that's all right. That's a really good
Would be good
idea,
fun.
actually. We should do that. Like, what we could name it something. Actually, I've got a question. Who do you think would be the most worthy adversary out of the group, including us? You can pick each other, or you can pick sort of Hainsey, Zach, Richie, Steve, Jakey
Like,
Jake.
what's worthy adversary for what? Like a 1-on-1 v paintball?
Hang on a sec. We'll pause because I've got a wee too.
All right, let's pause at this point.
We're back from our intermission.
That's like 2 weeks in a row. that I've interrupted.
Needed to.
Yeah, my blood has
Yeah.
interrupted things. Last week was fine with Jake, but this week not good.
Oh,
Sorry.
you held on to the last moment last week.
Oh, I did.
Yeah.
It's
You're
because I'm doing such a good job of hydrating now. If I have like a beer or two, I'm just like, oh man, my bladder, what's going on?
How that changed from having a beer or two earlier?
Well, I used to do much more manual labor and not drink that much and be dehydrated. So if I get on the beers, I wouldn't need a piss. But now I'm not expending as much energy, drinking a lot more, and then as soon as I start drinking a couple of beers, I'm like, I need a piss. What the hell?
So you,
It's your harder these days.
so in other words, that's having 8 coffees a day again instead of 2.
Possibly. No, I'm actually drinking water, like drinking much more water because I need to.
That's good.
It is good. Not good for the podcast.
I think we all need to be honest.
Anyway, where did we leave off before that ridiculous intermission about paintballing?
So I asked the question, who would be your most worthy adversary out paintballing? Like if we had the crew there and then, like Zach and Josh and
So out of our
the
immediate
boys
crew.
and- yeah.
Okay.
Like, and it was one-on-one. Oh, not one-on-one, sorry. One on everyone else. Okay. So you're your own team, just a free-for-all. I think that's what the
Every
game
man for
teams,
him-
Xbox players
Every man for
call it.
himself?
Yeah.
Is this a free for all?
Yeah,
Or is it a
yeah.
one person challenges everyone?
No,
Last man
it's
standing.
Free-for-all, yeah. Last man standing.
Yeah.
Who would be your most worthy adversary and why? And, yeah, let's go with that.
I don't know. I don't know who's any good at
I'm-
paintballing because other skills don't necessarily translate that well into paintballing.
Paintball's way different. Like you could say that military helps you, but in a way it doesn't as well.
Mm.
Like I'm sure it's good with some basic stuff, but at the end of the day, you're using a very inaccurate firearm.
All right, so take away the fact that it's inaccurate and inconsistent. Who would be your worthy adversary? Like, all right, let's change it up. Let's put a real gun in your hand.
Fuck.
That changes the variables again because then I'd say you.
Yeah.
Nah.
Because, of course, you're going to be a more worthy adversary with actual military service.
But Couchy's military as well.
Yeah, but you were in for like more than twice as long as him.
Yeah, but his body's fucked.
True.
So
Just kick you in your shins and you're down.
don't just like rule me out so quickly.
No, well, when you got to think, let's put it on a hunting perspective.
we've just changed the goal. Well, this is you moving goalposts again. We've just moved from
Yeah.
paintballing to actual guns to hunting. Like, stick to paintballing. We're talking about paintballing. Who are you most worried about in a paintball scenario? And I'm thinking
It's going to be someone. It's going to be someone carefree and doesn't give a fuck.
Correct. Last time I went paintballing, the dudes who performed well had some strategy, but mostly were pretty kamikaze. So
yeah, speed's key.
speed, but sometimes that didn't work. So in some games, they would run through, like they'd win, fine, whatever, because people weren't expecting it. Other times, people were expecting them to do that exact thing and
Yeah,
were waiting
you
for
wait
them.
for
So I did well. I was never running around like an idiot. Like I'd plan things out, hang back a bit
Can you
sometimes.
run though?
Oh, shut up.
Those quads are yours, mate. Like,
There were times where I had to run, yes. But most of the time I was just like situational awareness or the ability to actually observe around you and see movement and all that sort of stuff. I think that was actually in my favor. So I always did well. I won a couple, but yeah, I wouldn't say that I was absolutely killing it.
Mm.
But consistently, the
I'm gonna
guys who were
say-
like top three, they were either speed or like good, well planned out.
I was going to say if Hayden was actually shorter and was less profile, because I reckon he'd be the guy that does something stupid and just carefree. I'm going to say him, but
Well,
It's hard
maybe we
to
can
say.
just go through everyone and why they'd be good or bad. Ryan, size-wise, that's against him.
Oh, no.
Makes
no.
a lot of noise. Falls over things. If he'd try and jump over a log, he'd probably skin his knee and make a lot of
he would
noise.
shoot the log.
And Ryan gets tunnel vision, something chronic. So
I
he'll
reckon
just
it's-
charge after things.
Yeah, I reckon it's tunnel vision. Like, you just wait for him to lock on another opponent and then size
Oh,
him,
he wouldn't
man.
see it.
Yeah, no. He would just charge in like Rambo and people would shoot him 10 times.
Actually, I'll probably, sorry, Ryan, but I'll probably put you first to go out, actually.
First to die.
Even over the old dudes.
No, but they're not going to be first to go out because they're last to get there.
True.
Oh, yeah, old dudes,
Well, I'm thinking of a team environment and 2 teams, but yeah.
older guys in our crew, they would hang back. Yeah, they'd try and be a little bit strategic, I reckon.
I reckon there would be some sort of unity or pact that was made on the field between Richie and Steve. And they'd be like, hey, look,
Just like
we'll
go-
duke it out once we've killed everyone else.
Just go back to back.
Yeah, yeah. Like, so you'd have to watch out. Sorry, Richie and Steve, but you'd have to watch out for those two.
I reckon Zach would bitch you out.
I reckon. Look,
Ooh, I reckon he probably would.
No, I reckon he'd be like, "Oh, it's gonna hurt."
second.
I reckon Josh would be a
second
bit
go.
like that too.
Yeah, man. Yeah, definitely.
You'll be
Mate.
a bit sort of, you'll hang the gun around the corner and try and shoot people.
See, that's where I think a little bit of fear goes a long way, man. Because like you're cautious, but you're not overly cautious. So maybe it's a strength being a little bit cautious. You know,
Hainsey would probably see deer out there somehow.
No, you'll shoot him and he'll be walking back and you'll see a casting on the ground. Pick it up.
Who else we got? Jacob, what do you reckon?
Jacob's going to do himself an injury.
yeah, I think he's going to twist an ankle
He's got a
before he gets on the
hamstring
field.
or-
Yeah.
Achilles tendon, I reckon, just snapped in half.
Look, my Couchy, you're probably number one for
Actually,
me.
yeah, because of his natural like fluky ability in sporting.
You're
scenarios.
lucky. Yeah. You're just uber lucky. Like,
All right, I'll take that.
like I swear you're part leprechaun or something. Because like that with your military background, and your sort of natural athleticism, I think you're going to be quite a worthy opponent. You can be sneaky. You're not the quietest person in the world.
No, I know that.
But you can be sneaky. You have hobbit feet, which will give you away because you'll be able to track that from a mile away, mate. You'd be like, yep, hobbits come through here.
Hobbit feet. I would have said
Yeah, like large hobbit feet. Like they're hairy and just weird like hobbit feet,
Troll
but not
feet.
as small.
troll feet.
Troll feet, yeah.
Troll feet, there you go.
Would the hobbit feet be quite small?
Caleb, I'm trying to put you in my order
As
of
long as
who's
it's not
going to
hiding
go
behind a
first.
tree, Caleb, just shoot you in the calf. But
I think you could just J-hook him and because your muscle mass, you'd be so slow to move, you'd just J-hook him and then just pump like 3 rounds and he'd be like, yeah, he's done. Sick, move on. You know, no offense, but that's probably going to be.
I do want to 3-tap someone. For,
You can have one calf,
two in the
I'll have
chest,
the
one
other.
done.
What about
That would
Josh?
be good at like 5 meters away. Just pump him.
What about Josh Couchy?
Hey?
No, he's already done me.
Did you? Oh, did you? I don't know. I
Which Josh were you talking about
He's talking about Hainsey.
For what?
earlier?
How do you reckon this Josh will go?
This Josh?
Yeah.
No, I reckon you'll. I don't know. I have a feeling that you'll bitch out a little bit when
Yeah.
this paintball's flying past your head. But yeah, I reckon you'd be sneaky. So it's going to be one to watch out for.
Yeah, he's small as well. He can crouch down behind stuff. He can hide easily.
Yeah, just lift up a rock and just roll under it.
I reckon you'd just be frustrated how inaccurate paintball guns are.
I think you got to
Yeah.
be. You just got to be clever with paintball. I mean, I've only done it a handful of times, and
It's nothing frustrating as shooting at a distance. You got someone lined up, and you shoot, and you watch the thing swing
Yeah.
like 6 feet to the right.
yeah,
So you adjust for it, and it swings the opposite way.
yeah. But
And
this
you're
is
like, oh fuck.
this is where being quick is probably a good thing. Like having a little bit of the Harry Holt sort of style going on, but then knowing when not to do that. So the few times I've been,
Yeah.
I've done both. I've rushed in done like this blaze of thunder, not caring, just get in and get it done. And then other times I've sort of looked at because normally it's a ground that you're sort of paintballing on and there's obstacles and things. And then you sort of look like the place that I went to had, I don't know, a raised sort of little platform with obstacles on it and things to hide behind, but no one went underneath it. So I went underneath it and just sat there for actually I crawled in and then sat there for a little while waiting for people to come past and then just knocked them as they were walking past. And no one realised that it was coming from underneath the platform because no one went in there because there was cobwebs and, and
it was like 2 feet off the ground.
So you're a camper.
Well, no, because I did both. I did both. I rushed, especially for the flag challenge. When it's like you've got to run into the centre, grab the flag. You've got to rush for the flag. As soon as that timer went off, that's it, man. It was like, boom, just run in, grab it, and get back. By the time you're back, everyone else is like, huh?
Agreed.
It was simple sort of thing. That's the style in my head. That's my justification. How are you going to play the field?
You got to judge each one on its merits, man. Different courses. That's probably what I would say I did well is analysed and worked out the strategy for each one. Whether I executed it or not was another thing, but I reckon I always had a strategy. You'd look at a course, go, oh yeah, this would work. I might get to that high ground over there. The strategy was always good, but you can never account for someone doing something funky.
Yeah.
Like just running the full length of the field from the opposite end and coming up behind you or something like that.
So when I went to the Mount Gambier one, it was a good thing because it was in bushland with some huts and stuff like that in it. And one of the fields had quite dense bushland around the edges. So there was that just sort of ring track around this. It was a oval sort of playing field. And at one point I got around the back of the rest of the people. And it was, I don't know, it's just great seeing their faces when you get the first 2 or 3 people from behind.
They freak out.
100%.
Yeah, I think their teammate shot them. And they turn around and they realise it's not. But yeah.
The first time I went, it was the second time actually. I went with a childhood mate. His name's Peter. Anyway, we were in the same team because we were actually against his brother and his brother's friends. And we sort of got thrown in with other people we didn't know that were just there for the day. But we went sort of back and forth and, anyway, the last skirmish of the day, I actually had my mate, Peter, he ran out of rounds. And because in this particular field, you could, if you were too close, you could come up and just be like, yeah, you're dead because you weren't allowed to shoot him from, say, a metre away or something like that.
Mercy rule, surrender.
So he'd run out of ammo and he'd come up behind me too and just gone, you're dead, and had no ammunition. So he basically won the last skirmish with no rounds, just making these 2 people submit.
That's pretty smart.
Nice.
That is.
Nice, very smart.
That's one for the repertoire, that's for sure. Right.
There's always someone that goes through 400 rounds more than everyone else though. Just crazy amounts. You got to conserve it. Otherwise you end up spending a monster. But
I think if we did it though, I would pay that extra money for the upgrade.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because
you're going to need
basic guns suck.
You're going to need it. Definitely.
Well, you're going to have a $5,000 gun, so.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm trying to think who else would be. You're right with Hayden, to be honest. He's just going to do something way left field, like climb a tree and then suddenly.
Yeah, he'll do something wacky. I agree. Yeah.
He'll probably leave the field to run around to come in the back end and then jump into the field again.
But that's all right because if he's running, he's just going to run out of insulin and then he'll pass out.
Ryan will be warned for removing his goggles.
You reckon?
Yeah. He'll be the guy that takes his helmet off.
Oh, really?
And gets yelled at.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. Yeah. It's so frustrating, though, when you fog up. That's the worst part about it.
It is.
All right, Zach. putting Zach in the mix.
We spoke. I said he would just bitch out.
Is that it?
He'll be like crippled by fear of pain. He would hate me saying this, but that's what I think.
Fear of
Until
pain
he proves me otherwise.
like
that's
healthy.
I know it's healthy, mate. Otherwise, you'd be a sadist. But yeah, I reckon that's what would happen.
Reckon?
Yeah,
Just paralysed.
100%. Just like fearful.
You know what would be funny if we did this and like Zach won and like get him on like a full debrief podcast and he's like, yeah, I flogged them all. I'd be like, that's the last dude I want to get killed by.
It's on him. It's on him, and he's always one of the first people to listen to these episodes. So 5:30 a.m. Monday, mate. I look forward to the feedback.
Maybe we should do that. We should just host like a podcasters tournament, paintball.
I feel like maybe we should invite Cody over as well for it, like just because he pumps out.
It's a long way to come to paintball.
Yeah, but he'd do it.
Send the invite.
He'd do it. He pumps out so many memes. I'm interested to see the paintballing meme.
He'd film you dying and then put it on YouTube.
About 10 minutes from the start line when he starts running.
I feel like if there's any running involved out of the entire group, Shannon, you and me got this.
Like the courses aren't that big, man. Like it's not like you're running for Ks.
It depends how Jacob goes. If he's healed up by then, he might be.
No, because I feel like if he just steps on a rock, that's it. His ankle's gone. Good.
There's a lot of potential for injury in paintball. I'm not kidding. Especially when you got that mask on and you get hit a few times and there's like smeared all over and it's not clear and you're like trying to jump over logs and the amount of people that smack their heads on stuff last time I went.
Yeah.
There was rolled ankles. There was, yeah.
Have you been hit in the head?
Yeah, I've been in the head.
I never have, eh? I've been hit in the hand once and that's it. The hand of all things.
I've been hitting the dick too.
Really?
Like only once. And for whatever reason, I reckon I was only like young, maybe 18, 20, whatever. For some reason, I heard the rest of the guys talking about fucking shooting each other in the dick. So that's why I was like, I'm going to wear a box on this particular one. I've never worn a box ever when I've been paintballing. But this particular time I did, and I popped out of a trench, and sure enough, I got shot in the dick, and I had a box on. I'm like, thank goodness.
There was a story one of the instructors told us. He never advises wearing a box because he had a guy dive into a trench and he landed on his stomach. The box itself split, but as it split and opened up, he had a nut slip out and it jammed it in the plastic.
That's a freak event, man. Absolute freak event.
After that, he's like, he doesn't suggest anyone wearing a box. Just cop it if it's.
Next minute, a paintball splits your nuts open. I feel
But
that should be an unspoken rule.
The overalls and stuff, Josh. The overalls and stuff aren't tight, so therefore
they do absorb a lot.
Slack there.
But I feel like they should be an unspoken rule. Just don't deliberately shoot someone in the dick. But having said that, I wouldn't adhere to that.
You're
rule,
going to do it.
Yeah,
No.
yeah, I'm going to do it. Especially if it's like full. You can see the guy. You're premeditating it. You're sort of like, yeah. And it's like you, Couchy, and I'm like, yeah, I've got the drop on you, and you're my most worthy adversary. Yeah, that's it. I'm going to make you suffer.
It's one time I do feel sorry for the women involved, if there happen to be women there as well, because if they get hit in the boobs, that freaking hurts, supposedly.
Oh, each time I've been when there's chicks involved, they've had chest plates.
Really?
Yeah.
Or
Because of that reason.
the option to put someone.
I guess it's always an option.
Yeah.
But
they don't really hurt that much.
You have boobs? Yeah, you do have boobs, actually. As he flexes for the camera. But nah, like breast is different to pec.
No, I mean the paintballs, man, not getting shot in the boob.
Yeah, but different areas hurt differently, man. Like you get shot in the arm, you're like whatever. But then if you get shot in like the neck,
it's the ones that skim off the top of your head or the shoulders that don't break and they just hit and bounce. Yeah. They hurt.
How many times have you been hit?
Well,
Oh, for heaps.
at least once every round, except for ones where I haven't died. So I don't know. I reckon I've been paintballing 10 times, maybe 8 to 10 rounds every time. So
But you probably get done like 1 or 2 hits because there's always someone that shoots you when you walk back.
yeah, I don't know. Maybe 50 to 100 times I've been hit with a paintball, maybe.
That
But I'm being
that says a
paintball.
lot about where your position is in the first to die ladder.
Yeah, but that's across like going paintballing 10 times
Yeah,
with
I
multiple rounds.
Yeah, I'll get you.
You're going to get hit. Unless you're the winner, you're going to get hit.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. I don't know. I've only been like a handful of times and shot once, so.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You got shot once or you shot once?
No, I only got hit in the hand. That's all. That's it.
So you're saying
That's why your hands are fucked.
You're saying you won every round bar one.
Well, because it's teams.
You're saying you're undefeated.
Like it's not
Undefeated.
like you win. It's the team one.
No, Josh was hiding behind a bush.
Undefeated.
I've never
Fine,
done
okay.
a free for all.
So you've entered every field and just hid somewhere.
Yeah, start calling you backpack. Because everyone has to carry you around.
That's all right. Because guess who's going to win?
Anyway, let's make it happen.
I'll
So-
back myself
do
on
it.
this. I'm 100% certain. Like, Cassie, you'll be my worthy adversary, but I reckon I got you. And I know this is the thing now, because we've said this, and you've identified who your strongest opposition is. You're going to target that person, because I'm going to look in the field. I'd overlook everyone to try and cut down the strongest to weakest. And then,
That's fine, because then you'll get shot. 'Cause
that's
you
the thing,
opened
though, because you'll end up getting shot by like Aussie Sparrow, and then you're like, yeah, okay, great.
it. Just hanging from the tree.
I've offended Ryan and Aussie Sparrow, so I'm obligated to just target them now.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we should make the pact out on the field, and then once everyone else is gone, we'll duke it out.
Correct. Send it
But I
back.
feel like you're going to shoot me in the back, Josh.
Oh, mate,
make this
if it
pact.
wins, it wins. Whilst we're making the pact, mate, I'll shoot you.
I'm going to shoot you in the dick while we're making it back.
Oh, dear.
Oh, dear. Anyway, we
This is actually a really good topic.
well, it's nice. I like it. It is nice. We've waffled on for a bit though. So
We have.
we did say at the start of the season we get back to topics. Speaking of good topics, but yeah, we've got one for tonight. Let's get into it. The topic is vote yes or no, which is highly relevant at this time. Being an Australian citizen with, is it a debacle? I don't know. What's going on where we're all going to have to vote for the yes or no voice? The voice. Vote yes or no. That's what's going on in the country. But so hence the reason for our topic. We're not necessarily going to break it down that way and talk about the voice, but
Look, mine's pretty short and sweet. It got me thinking the whole yes and no topic. Should we become a republic? And I was going to ask, like, either of you, like, if we were to have a referendum to become our own sovereignty, would you vote yes or no?
you've stolen my thunder a little bit.
Because look,
Only
You
in a
can put
minor
it-
way though. It's okay.
you can put it like this: like, we're all born here. We know nothing else. We know nothing else. Like, it's pretty simple. And I sort of see the monarchy as
Did you mean to
Yes,
wrap
goodness.
that? Sort of see the monarchy.
I sort of see them just as like a public figure that doesn't really do a lot. And I'm not in politics, so I don't know if they do anything behind the scenes. But I feel like we've got good men in this country, good enough men in this country to be able to run it ourselves and independently. And we've got the resources to sustain industry and our economy. So But I don't know.
No, I
that's
agree.
me.
I agree with you as well because I think we should become separate.
I think it's time. I think it's been long enough.
Yeah.
I agree, yes. My vote would be yes. If we did have a referendum or a vote, whatever it's called, a vote for that, I would vote yes. Let's become a republic.
I would as well. But that'd be like a logistical nightmare having to rewrite our constitution at this moment in time.
Or a good opportunity to rewrite a constitution. But
That's a good idea.
what would scare me is what would be in that new constitution or
All right, well,
amendments or whatever, like whatever's in there, that would scare me. Because
automatics,
the
semis.
like with The Voice, currently they would use it as an opportunity to put a heap of stuff in there that they want, which maybe
Yeah,
not
they would
be,
slip shit in.
which might not be quite as transparent as we would hope. Whereas people have analysed our current constitution since it's existed, they know the ins and outs of it.
That's something I haven't read, hey, is our constitution.
Me either.
Yeah. I think only a select few people have read it, bro.
But I feel like it's probably worth knowing. Definitely. Just in case.
The key points, at least.
Hmm.
But so yes, I would. But then the other thing you'd want to know is, president-wise, are we going to do what we've done historically with prime ministers and just get rid of them? And we're going to have to stick to something like, all right, you're in office for X amount of time. You can't just go, oh, I've had enough now. Or someone else in that party goes, oh, you're done, mate. Let's put the next person in. We've got a new president every 3 months.
I think that if they remove a president, then it should go back up to voting again. There should never be they elect someone else in that party. If you give up that president, you give up the chance of being in the seats.
Yeah, agreed. Like, for example, the Premier of Victoria has just resigned, Dan Andrews.
Just saw that, yeah.
And basically the next person is not going to be voted on. So they're going to get a new Premier in Victoria and it's not voted on by the people.
That's not really acceptable. I understand putting like an interim person in if needed, but it should go back to a vote to the public and that state, to be honest. This is politics. None of us really know enough to pass comment, eh?
It's a dry topic as well.
I mean, I do feel there's no longevity in our current system. Like, I don't know if you've noticed, but we get a PM and they either rewrite the last PM's policies and this and that, or and there's sort of no progression as a country, or very slow, limited progression, because when someone gets in, they just destroy it. And I think that would be the same with a president. But at the same time, if a president's sitting a term for 7 years, I think 7 years is a good time to be able to implement, let it run, see how it goes, then re-vote on someone else to come in, and then they can go, okay, well, it actually works.
Yeah, because they'll get actually 5 years of actually in power, rather than for us, it'll only be really 2, because you have a year either side of elections.
Yep.
It's interesting, though. Do you reckon tall poppy syndrome would play a factor into Australians having a president? Like, I think it could.
I think it's going to happen anyway. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think like it's just somehow in Australian culture to cut down someone at the top, and I just think we'd get sick of whatever the president was doing. I don't. It's not like America where like they love having a leader and they like exalt them on high, and there's this guy at the top, and yeah.
See, this is something I found with Dan Andrews stepping down is everyone was very quick to just belittle him. When instead of just like smashing him and saying, you know, he was terrible, we should turn around and say publicly, look, he did his job. It was a hard time that he had to do his job, but we're going to do it better now. You know, that has a bit more of a learned attitude over let's just belittle him, like smear his name, and that's that. I mean, there's no doubt that was a hard time for him to be in a position of authority through COVID, like Dan Andrews. Whether he did it well or not, okay. But imagine if you were in that position, man, that would be difficult. Look, and then going against the grain, if everyone in your office is telling you to do one thing or advising you to do one thing and you turn around and we're like, no, I don't believe in that, I'm going to do it differently. You know, he's almost damned if he does and damned if he doesn't.
Damned if he does, damned if he doesn't.
That's it. So, you know, it's
double negative.
It's sort of, I don't know. I don't agree with some of the things he's done, but at the same time, I can certainly recognise that, dude, that would have been a difficult time to be in that position.
It would have been. Like, publicly, he's quite polarising. You either love or you hate him. Supposedly, though, internally, he was, like, feared and was quite arrogant. That's what I've heard. Within his party, people are like, crap, don't cross him because he'll go you. But then also quite arrogant, just backed himself. But you have to have a degree of arrogance to back your decisions sometimes when you're flying in the face of popular opinion.
Mm.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think that's more than enough political
talk. It can be good, but also a stumbling block.
This is not a political podcast. We are not experts. Yet we are voting citizens of Australia and we have an opinion.
Yeah. Look,
did you? Are you done with yours, Josh?
Yeah, Caleb.
I think it's unanimous. Yes, we should become a republic.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Because like talking about the referendums and stuff like that, so the vote yes or no. Did you know there's been 44 referendums held since 1901, and only 8 have actually passed?
44 and 8 have got up.
8 have got up. So that's pretty crazy in its own, because it seems quite unlikely that it's going to pass just because the indecisiveness of everyone. Like you hear so many Aboriginals and stuff like that are unsure. So they don't like, obviously there's all sides of the story, a lot of yes, a lot of no, and there's all this in between. Well, that's where I'm at, is in between, because I don't really know much about it. But yeah, so only 8 have actually passed because it requires a double majority to actually get through.
Yeah,
so
wow.
51% of population and 51% of states and territories.
Huh.
So that's why it requires like both, and that's why it's so hard to actually pass it.
Was one of them over rum or alcohol?
Yeah, I'm just looking at which ones have actually got up, and it's like, the first prohibition referendum.
Yeah, I thought so.
There's like the succession referendum, the second prohibition. Why can't I speak tonight? Second prohibition referendum, the first daylight saving referendum, the second daylight saving referendum, the third daylight saving referendum,
my goodness.
Retail trading hours referendum, and the fourth daylight saving referendum.
So alcohol and daylight savings. That
pretty much.
That's the only thing we can agree on in this country.
Yeah.
There's also been a few more, but that's, I guess, the ones that we benefit the most.
Yeah, wow.
Hey, look, having a fine drop's definitely worth fighting for.
So it sort of got me thinking, because I've seen a few referendums that were sort of a bit funky. So I had a look at just sort of some different referendums that were sort of funny. And this is across the world, not just Australia. So in Czech, they had a referendum called Beer for Beards. That was in 2013. And the Czech town held a referendum on whether bearded citizens should receive free beer in local pubs. It didn't get through.
That's the Czech Republic.
Czech, yeah.
Yeah, Czechoslovakia, Czech Republic, you just said in Czech.
All right, yeah, the town in Czech. in Czech, that's Czechoslovakia, we'll say.
Okay.
They make good rifles.
Yes,
the Czech Republic, that's what it is, actually.
Thank you.
Sorry, my bad. There was also another one from the Czech Republic in 2019 called Beer Walls. The citizens proposed building walls around the country's borders to protect its beer. While this was largely symbolic, it highlighted the country's deep affection for it.
Is this a piss take?
It's
It involves piss.
Do you reckon that'd be a joke? Like some dude sitting there going, "Oh, we need to fire up the Pelicans, the average citizen. Let's vote for a wall around our borders to protect our beer. See if it passes or not."
some of them are pretty funny. There's one in Switzerland called Cow Horns. This is in 1993. They held a referendum on whether to provide subsidies to farmers who keep their cows' horns intact. It passed, reflecting Swiss support for traditional farming practices. So that's actually legit. Iceland, the Icelandic pizza referendum in 2016, a group of citizens gathered enough signatures to hold a referendum on whether to put pineapple as a topping on pizza. The result was in favour of
Come
keeping it
on.
off.
Yes.
Come on. You found a joke list of stuff, surely.
At loss. No?
Yes. Pizza should be pineapple should be standard on pizza. Like it's lovely. It's refreshing.
Not every pizza.
No, not every
Not every
pizza,
pizza,
but if it goes with it, well, it's like having fruit in a salad. Like I would go to a referendum to say you have to have a piece of fruit in salad.
Dude,
it makes a salad.
Tomato.
No,
Ticks
tomato, nah.
Tomato ticks that box.
Too acidic.
It does.
Tomato is a fruit.
It is, but it's
Literally fruit.
it's too much acid, and
But
the
This is
texture's
where
not
you're
that
changing
great.
goalposts again, Josh.
Is it a fruit? It's not. Yeah, it's technically a fruit, but it's not really.
Technically, it
It's
is.
a vegetable.
It's not a sweet fruit. It's not apple.
Actually,
I've had
You know-
plenty of salads with apple and I didn't rate it.
you know what you need to try in your
Yeah.
your salads? Give me
Meat?
a sec. No.
Meat,
Chicken,
Give me a sec.
egg, protein,
bacon.
bacon,
They look
Yes.
croutons.
like a tomato.
They look like a tomato.
Cherry tomato.
Cherry
No.
tomato.
No.
Peperinos.
Cherry.
I don't even know what that is.
Oh wow.
Is it a yellow tomato?
Yeah, it's like yeah.
It's yellow cherry tomato.
No, it's like a yellowy color. Oh, what's it called? This is going to annoy me now.
Yellow round what?
Tomatoey object.
Salad object.
Well, Mrs. is going to be screaming at me at the moment.
I have no clue what you're on about, bro.
Oh, it's. Wait for it. Wait for it.
This is the worst 20 seconds of podcast.
No. Wait for it, man. Look,
Corn?
no, I've got a brain full of information. I'm just sifting through it. All right.
Mango.
It's hard being a nerd.
Small, so small and round. And yellow.
Is it yellow or orange?
Well, it'll go yellow, but yeah, it's really an orange. It's like a sort of pale tomato.
I have no clue what you're on about.
Oh,
What does it taste like?
how is this eluding my memory?
Is it Pisalis?
No.
What?
No.
Sounds like a disease.
It's called Pisalis or Physalis fruit.
Like beans?
Which looks like a tomato, but yellow.
Nah, and you've eaten it before. You know it.
I need
Super
I
odd.
need context, bro. I
Yeah.
have no
It's hard
clue.
to.
Picture a tomato, but not a tomato, and on a tree. Grows on a tree.
Wow.
Not a vine or a bush.
Capsicum?
Nah.
Chickpeas.
Just thrown out.
No, it looks like. How does a tomato look like a chickpea?
I don't know. I'm just throwing anything
It looks like
out
a
there.
tomato.
It looks like a
Um,
persimmon.
persimmon.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
wow. How was that so difficult? Persimmon should be standard in a salad.
Wow, that was not worth the wait.
Nah.
Disagree.
Oh, when you have a slice of persimmon, you're gonna be like, yeah.
Nah.
Yeah.
Do not agree.
Well, let's put it to a referendum.
Do it. Should persimmon be mandatory in salad? It's a no vote for
On
me.
Sundays.
You can't vote until you've had it as well.
I'm voting no. Just
Just on you.
to continue the theme of how I'm going to be voting.
Ooh.
No.
Ooh.
Oof.
Oof.
When is the vote got to be done by?
Oh, all over this.
For anyone not
All over
watching,
his
is
laptop.
Caleb just spilt his
Do you want-
beer.
I just
all
spilled
over
a beer all
the
over my
desk.
laptop.
Do you want I'll get you some paper
Ouch.
towel, bro.
That's all right. It spilled it at the back of it, so it's all gone off it. It's all fine. Just chill. Wow. Probably the most awkward minute or two of podcasting where Josh has just crapped on
Probably
about persimmons and I've
10
spilled a
minutes,
beer on my laptop. Wow. That is going to make a funny clip too.
Do you want to maybe continue that form and go into your subject?
I can do that. Thanks, Josh, for the paper towel.
That's the wrong shit.
Oh my gosh. Wow. There is so much beer everywhere.
Well, I'm glad I'm not sitting beside you. That would have sucked.
Well, if you were sitting beside me, you could have rescued me.
Just copped it.
Yeah, man. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. I've collected it all. I've wiped it up. We're continuing. Just because it was such a full
What's
beer.
Josh doing?
Josh has gone to pee again.
Did he take his phone?
No. Thankfully, he did not.
Hide it. Hide it.
Anyway, what I want to do for my topic breakdown is play a little game with you two. So once Josh is back in the room, and apologies, listeners, for the most unprofessional sounding portion of podcast, this would make any bloopers real. This is the behind the scenes. This is what actually goes on. I make mistakes in real life. Most of the time I edit them out.
Yeah, you don't admit it,
But yeah, don't admit it either. But yep. It's not the first time I've spilt beer all over everything on the podcast either. I'm doing that thing where you put it in the wrong spot, and you just know it's there, but then yeah,
you know what's there, but you forget.
you forget because you get excited and passionate about a topic. Now Josh isn't here, so now we're padding. Well, welcome back, Josh. Thank you. We've owned some terrible podcasting time, but now we're back. I'm going to bring this back and rescue it. So what I want to do, Josh, you're scorekeeper. Play a little game, and we're literally going to vote yes or no between the three of us on some controversial topics. Josh has already put +10 in his score. Crossed it out. Please. No cheating. All right, so I've got 11
Josh
questions.
didn't let it be on the pen.
I've got 11 questions, and I've done that so there can be no draws.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and we're just going to vote yes or no, and whatever the majority is, you get a point. So if you're in the majority, you get a point. Right? And at the end of it, whoever comes out on top wins.
Wait, of Australia, America, where are we talking?
Like just a combination of like Australian related questions or just awkward questions to ask someone. All right, so we'll kick it away.
Right.
First question. Should Australia change its flag? Yes or no?
I want to say yes, but I think the majority was no.
I want to vote yes. I'll vote yes because I want to become a republic, and I think you should change the flag. So you got to get rid of the Union Jack. So yes.
Are we going for majority here or what we feel like?
No, just say honestly what you think. Don't try and win.
Yes.
For the sake of it, just say yes.
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 We'll get a point.
Ooh.
This is why I've mixed it up because you're not gonna lie. All right, second question. If you could find out how you were going to die, would you want to know?
That's a hard one.
I'm going to say no.
Yeah, I'm going to say no as well.
Yeah, I was no as well.
Oh, sure you were. I should make us all just hold up signs so we can't.
But
cheat.
hang on, you know the questions, so you technically the answers to the
I
questions.
haven't thought about my answers. I literally just procured the questions.
We don't know that.
Yeah, but you don't know the.
So is that a
the
point
answer.
Should I just make it between you two then?
No, but is that a point each?
Well, that's originally what you said. But yes.
Well, yeah, we're all in the majority there as well. Well, this is where I said you stole my thunder a little bit. Should Australia become a republic and abolish the monarchy?
Yes.
We all vote yes, so we all get a point. This could be boring.
Maybe, Caleb, going forth on the next questions, you vote last.
I what?
Vote last.
All right, I'll vote
I
last.
feel like you're going to be swayed by the answer.
Okay, I'll vote last. So you two vote first and I'll vote last. All right. That means you got to actually hurry up and give me an answer there.
Yeah.
Would you take the blame for a major crime to save a best friend's life?
Yes.
For a major crime, to save a best friend's life.
Not a crime, a major crime. So like murder or something like that to save your friend's
Yeah,
life.
but
Best friend's
does
life.
he die? Or is he just locked up and taking your...
It's to save you. So he
Save
dies.
your best friend's life.
How is that even like how are you procrastinating, mate? It's actually nice to know because I know I ain't trusting you or you. That's nice to know.
So yeah, Josh dies unless we take the blame.
Oh,
for a major
I'll
crime.
say yes if he dies. If he doesn't die.
Hang on. So if you die, would you say yes? Caleb dies, would you say yes?
What? No, I'll say... No, I'm not picking favourites, Josh. But like, wasn't sure if it meant if the person dies if you say no, or if you say no, he goes to jail for that role.
We're overthinking this.
Crime.
No.
They die unless you take the blame for it. Would you do that?
Yeah.
Yes or no?
Would
Well,
you-
Yes, I'll take
yes for me as well. So we're all think alike. Maybe we're just two alike on all these. Play along at home. See if you can beat our scores.
You can't say that halfway through the game.
Yeah,
What if you don't have any friends?
it's my game and I'll play it how I want. All right. Is climate change a significant threat to Australia?
No.
No.
Damn it, no. We're all just in agreement. Oh, gosh. All right.
Maybe we should become like presidents or prime ministers
Yeah.
in Australia.
Yeah, can you just...
Maybe send it, mate.
That's probably the best way to do it. It's not just have the one person, have just a group of people that run as president.
I reckon.
I believe that's democracy.
If you could know what other people really thought of you, would you want to know?
No.
Nah. Because you would be depressed.
Oh, 100%.
You would be.
You wouldn't want to know. No way. No
No.
way. I agree.
Imagine knowing the first impression your missus thought of you, right?
I wouldn't.
Like I just don't know. Would it take away the chase? If you just knew
It'd
what
take
she was
away
thinking
probably-
and you'd be like, oh, yeah, sweet, like, fine, cool, just move on, sort of thing.
It's a bit weird.
Maybe first impressions are different to what people really think of you, though. So once you actually get to know someone, say it's a year down the track, you really think one way of someone and you acted down another way. That would be interesting to know. But I feel like with enough years on the planet, you can gauge whether people are genuine or not.
You can, and you do go through periods. Like there's times where, like, you know, in your friendship, you're sort of like, yeah, look, I'm off him this week because, you know, he might be too chatty when you're out hunting and, like, talking too much. Like when you're trying to stalk a big buck or stag or something and you're like, nah, I'm off him. But then the next week you're like, yeah, I miss him. I want to go, you know, ring him up and ask him how he is and that. So it can change.
Yeah, well, I know I'm never too chatty on the hunt.
No, it's not your mouth that does the noise when you're out hunting. It's his damn feet.
Tell us what you really think, Josh.
I thought you were going to say his ass, but anyway.
Oh, so we all agree again. Okay. All right, next one. Should Australia implement stricter gun control measures?
No.
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 What's the answer?
The answer's no.
No? Huh. There we go. Maybe there might be a tie.
If you could find out I want a tiebreaker at this point. If you could find out every person who ever had a crush on you, would you?
Yes.
No.
Ooh. First tiebreaker. I'm saying yes. I want to know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to know everyone. Then you just ham it up. You can use it to your advantage massively.
You could.
Oh, yeah.
But then it could be awkward if it's like your cousin.
Yeah.
No, but imagine if like no one had a crush on you and you like spent the first 14 years of your life and no, you'd be like, oh, okay, there's something wrong with me.
Yeah, no, I think so.
What's the answer?
What's the answer?
Well, it's the majority. So you and I get a point.
Right.
Cashy doesn't.
Oh, is that how it
Well.
works? I thought it was. Okay.
Yeah, no, this is why I want us to be honest.
He can answer first then.
I thought it was like 78% people said yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
No. This is all just between us. Whoever's the majority.
Oh, okay.
It'd be better with more people, but there's only 3 of us, so whatever. It's my game. Next one. Is Australia's healthcare system effective and accessible for all?
Yes.
Yeah, it is. Really.
Now Josh is going to answer. I want to make Josh answer before me now, just so he can't follow me the whole rest of the way home.
Well, I've answered before you a few times.
No, but now you're one up, so therefore you can just copy me and you win.
And then you can go against and hope and look at Caleb, give Caleb the stank eye to make him vote with you.
No, I all said yes, and I would say yes as well. Like, not that I use our healthcare system very often, but the times I have, other than 6-hour waits in emergency rooms.
Mm.
Oh, but like you hear the nightmares of like America and shit with their healthcare.
Yeah, when you look at it in
a nightmare.
perspective, when you look at it through that lens, you're like, we got it pretty good. Free healthcare. Like, you break an arm or something, you bankrupt yourself in other countries. So it works. All right. Should Australia legalise recreational marijuana use?
Yes.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I think so.
Um,
I think so.
Even if
Yeah. Look, it's way better for you than alcohol, and we legalise alcohol. So to me, it's a no-brainer. Having said that, just like alcohol, you can get alcoholics. I do think it needs to be monitored and restricted to an age.
Age limit
you
as
can't
well.
you can't do it
Same as
like
alcohol.
alcohol. You can't do it before 18. I think same with marijuana. Having said that, most marijuana that people do is done previously to the age of 18.
oh yeah, there's like the same as alcohol.
Yeah. No.
It's going to happen. No, but
Because you're drinking beer right now. Oh, no, you're not actually, are you?
no, I'm not.
Yeah. Yeah, I think yes, it should be.
Mm.
There's a lot of countries where it's legal and it's fine. It's not like it's created a heap of dramas. It's decriminalised it, so it actually takes the incentive out of the criminal organisations who make money out of
I
selling.
think half the problem with alcohol as a 18 to 20 is the idea of it, that you're allowed to have it. So therefore you sort of gorge it.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Having said that, we do have quite a young age that you can drink alcohol. Like the States, it's 21. You know,
Yeah, but they still gorge it.
they do, but I believe that period. Like, imagine if you hadn't drunk a beer till you're 21, like, and then had it for the first time. Man, you'd go like full crazy on it. Like, you just go overboard. Whereas 18, and my parents actually let me drink younger, which was weird because I grew up in a
Sounds pretty
religious
great.
household. But I was allowed to have like actually the first one was a shandy, so beer and lemonade.
Beer with grandma.
Yeah, beer with grandma. And then sort of progressed slowly to a bit of wine and this and that. And then when I got to about 15, 16, my sister would buy me alcohol. And you'd sort of just, you'd already know your limits by the time you hit 18. So you knew sort of where you could sit drinking-wise and not make stupid error. And it was always done previous to 18, it was always done in my parents' house or my mate's house. So it was always monitored. Not that we ever went crazy.
Well, it's interesting because a lot of European countries there's no limit, so it's quite common for like a 12-year-old to have a glass of wine with their parents at dinner. And there's not where the difference is. There's not the binge drinking culture in those places that we have here because there's like this taboo. Oh, you can't drink till you're 18. Oh, I'm being so risque. I'm having a beer and I'm 15. Oh my gosh. And then people just go nuts.
Yeah.
Whereas if it's like if you're used to drinking wine, you're like, oh, whatever.
driving through Adelaide, man, on like a Friday, Saturday night, like I'm just astounded that people act that way. Like,
Josh,
walking out.
You were that person at one point in your life.
Yeah.
No,
We all were.
we've all like
all been
had a
there.
few beers and walked from pub to pub, but at 18, some of these people look like they're not old enough to be out of kindy. I don't know if it's the fact that
It's
we're
'cause
getting
we're now
older
old.
and when our perceptions changed, and you're like, yeah, wow.
It's because we're
young.
twice as old as them now.
But yeah, I don't know, man.
We are old.
I don't know. I can't. Yeah, nah.
Fair enough. All right.
Yep.
One more question. So far, Couchy, you're down by one.
Yeah.
Would you sacrifice a loved one to save a dozen strangers?
This is like the tram,
that
the
one's
tram thing.
That one's heavier.
No.
So 12, yeah. You got to kill a loved one
All right, so let's put it into
to save
perspective.
12 people,
I've got to,
strangers.
because Caleb, I love you. I've got
Thanks, Josh.
to let you die to save 12 people. Would you? Can I talk to you before this happens?
What, justify it? Dude, I'm going to kill you so I can save these 12 people. I'm like, yeah, sure, man, go for it.
No, well, so you know as
But
well.
they're just maybe better people.
At least
than
I'm
you,
dying
so-
for a good cause, Josh. Please
so you
go
know
ahead.
as well.
Nah, you can't talk to me.
You can't.
Nah.
I'm going to say nah. That's selfish, but nah.
So what?
So no, you wouldn't sacrifice.
the same as me.
You wouldn't sacrifice a loved one.
No. No, I don't think so.
Well,
It doesn't matter what you choose.
it
now,
doesn't
does it?
matter what I choose. We're in the majority, but I would not
Cool.
because they are 12 strangers.
Josh was about to sacrifice. You know that.
Yeah, I don't know why I asked so many questions around the rules on that.
I think he was staging something.
No, it's like this. If like, all right, the Avengers movie when the Hawkeye and that, what's her name? Scarlett Johansson's on the cliff and
Black Widow.
that evil dude's like, oh, to get this stone, you've got to kill one of you, or I don't know, whatever,
Purple
but you
dude?
got to save you're going to save an entire race. Like,
It
you look
sounds
at
like-
each other and be like, all right, well, one of us has got to go. Who is it? I'd be like, and you can't really answer it, but that's the scenario that you're sort of asking. But
Well, if you
if I
ask
could
me, I'll be
talk
like,
to
well,
Caleb,
you're going.
but if you could talk to each other, you'd be like, I don't know, maybe if one of you's a bit older, you're like, hey, I've had a good run, let us go. Or,
Caleb is the oldest.
is that a good run too?
Oh man.
So,
He had to shed some weight.
I feel like if you could talk to the person, you could come to an accord and maybe take some guilt off your shoulders.
Who's signing up for it? I'll die to save these 12 people. It's all right. You can kill me. You're
Well,
not really going to know until you're faced with this scenario. Hopefully, we're never faced with this scenario.
That means like you're. I'm just trying to think if you got a busload of kids and your mate driving towards you.
Oh,
Who do you hit? You can't go outside the area because of barriers.
All right. Sudden death. Tiebreaker between Cal and I.
You what?
Tiebreaker between Caleb and I.
yeah. So
Well,
what he's saying is we've won the game. You're 1 point down, so we need a tie break between.
And that's
so
the
you need to
tiebreaker.
ask us a question.
That's the tiebreaker.
Okay,
That's
because I was going to
scenario.
say if you two are traveling down the road towards me, I would go to Caleb's on the left and Josh is on the right.
That's not yes
I'm
or
going
no.
to swerve to my right and go around Caleb and then cut to my left because Josh is always slow. A question.
With a yes or no.
No, that was it. Busload of kids. Coming or your mate.
Yeah, busload
coming.
of kids.
Which one do you hit?
car is left and bus is right.
Look, knowing you.
What am I driving?
I'm going to hit you.
This is the important question to ask. What am I in?
You're driving a fucking tank.
Okay, so
I don't know. It's gonna. Yeah, it's not. There's not going to just bounce off.
Okay, cool. Because I was going to like, well, if I'm on a bicycle, I'd probably rather hit Josh. Okay, so whoever I hit, that's the end of it. Oh man, that's hard.
Look, no, I feel that's an easy one. I'd hit you, and I'd expect you to hit me over a busload.
Because
of
we
kids.
could lock eyes and go, let's sacrifice ourselves for this busload of kids.
I feel like that'd be a no-brainer. Anyway.
I feel like we've come to the same answer. We haven't broken this tiebreak. Maybe this is not a good game to play amongst friends. Maybe this is a good game to play with strangers.
Yeah, so it's a mix-up. Trying to think of something else.
Maybe us is something we have different opinions on. I don't know.
All right. Well, do we have a
Sammy's-
Bill of Rights in our Constitution? Yes or no?
Yes.
Hang on, what?
Do we have a Bill of Rights in our Constitution?
Bill of Rights.
I think we do. I think it's just not as maybe in depth. I don't know. I've never read it. So it's like a 50-50. It's a guessing game for me. But I'd say we certainly do have a...
All right, for the sake of
Some sort
ending
of
this
Bill of
game,
Rights.
I'm going to say no. What's the right answer?
Well, Caleb wins. No, we don't.
Oh, we don't. Right. I'm going to check that.
I think it's named something different. It's not actually a Bill of Rights. But yeah,
Sweet victory.
I learned that today.
I love winning my own game. Anyway, play along at home. See how you win.
There you go.
Do you have mates that all agree like this, or do you have ones that are opposed? We should find out. Josh is busy just like madly Googling this now. Oh, dear.
Yeah, I just reconfirmed it. It's fine.
Anyway, we can continue this after the podcast, Josh, unless you want to hurry up with your typing, but it's probably time we end this now anyway. So
Yeah, I think it's time.
it's time. It's time. Thanks for listening again. Everyone at home, play along. I can post the questions. If someone requests it, I'll post the questions.
Josh had an answer.
Josh has an answer.
Go on.
No, yeah, we're right.
Australia does not have a Bill
Yeah,
of
we don't.
Rights.
It doesn't.
Ching, cha-ching, ching, ching.
That's going to have to change because we will be becoming a republic.
We'll make it happen. Vote one.
wish.
Vote one Josh for president. Oh, we'd be very Americanized if you were president. Very
It'd
quickly.
be very Biden.
More, and I think
He's not saying a whole lot.
it'd be a lot more Trumpish.
No, I'm not the right person to be running a country, man. Like at all.
Agreed.
But if you were running it, could you elect the right person?
No, because
Okay.
it'd be public vote. Like, it's
We don't have to go down this rabbit hole.
No,
it's
we're
a
not.
weird one.
We're not
'cause-
doing this.
Yeah,
We're ending it there.
I'd
We're not doing it.
personally, I
It's
just
done.
no. I don't even think I'd want the responsibility. Would you?
Hell
no
no.
way.
No.
Hell no.
Not a chance.
I don't like being in the limelight at the best of times, let alone being a president of a country.
Having
Anyway.
said that, knowing who killed JFK would be pretty sick. Like, imagine if you had access to all those little incidents that happen that the public doesn't know the full truth or whatever. You know, imagine having that knowledge and just read that book that's got all the knowledge in it, and you just cover to cover read it. Be like, yeah, it's sick. That'd be the best part. I could do that, but I couldn't do the rest of it.
Stuff that.
So you do all the cool shit.
Just read a book, yeah. That's about it.
Oh, dear. All right. Well, on that note, I think it's time we wrap this thing up. Get out of here. Special thanks once again to those who support us. High Caliber, Firearms United, and Josh's moustache. I don't know why I said
Who wants a mustache,
You said
right?
it. You had to go somewhere.
Anyway, let's get out of here. I do need to take a piss again. Terrible this hydration.
I'm knackered as well.
Yeah.
I haven't
Yeah,
even
I'm
been
done.
to the gym today and I'm knackered.
Really?
Yep. I had to read a book
It's a
instead.
change.
It's a change. I'm disappointed in you, man. Get to the gym. Anyway, let's cruise. Catch ya.
You always make the weirding really weird.
The what?
The ending, really weird.
Well-
What did I say?
The weirding.
The
Weird,
weirding.
really weird. You've done the weirdy.
Yeah.
Well, feel free to pipe up and actually wrap this thing up or forever not leaving. Anyway, the music's ending. Goodbye.
Gotcha.
See you later, dudes.
And dudettes.
Thank you. Man, that's so weird. G'day, dude and dudettes. Josh here. Do you find it hard to keep your long, hard barrels free from gun STDs? Maybe you need a clean out of your bore. If this is you, jump on over to highcaliber.com.au and use the promo code SENDITMATE to receive a 10% discount on all your gun cleaning needs. And remember, it's sexy to support Australian-made products. Everyone here at Send It Mate uses High Caliber, and we can promise you that it'll keep your firearms free from those pesky gun STDs.